I will talk about the Israeli National AI Initiative as one of the initiator of this specific program in the Israel Innovation Authority. We have joined forces together with the Ministry of Science and the Ministry of Treasure.
Okay, we see
the
it.
High Budget Committee.
We see
Okay,
it now.
great. The High
Do a
Budget Committee
large-
and the Ministry of Defense together to establish this big initiative. And well, this specific program I will present shortly is based on a report that was written by a National Committee for AI. We had in this committee headed by Dr. Orna Berry, a few professors and representative of some companies like IBM and Intel, and we were looking into the market failures and why we should be a player. The government should be a player in a domain which is so successful, and it seems there is a lot of money there. And maybe the government should step aside and not really be in the middle. So we will try to explain why we should be there. So is there a market failure there? As we see, the academy has a real role play in this domain. We think that's all the basic research is developed in the academy, and the best researchers and the most advanced research is done in the academy. And we also see that there is a lot of investment needed in different infrastructure. That's those academic researchers and also the ones who are doing the research in the industry is using. And it seems like the availability of some of the services needed for this infrastructure is lacking in Israel. We don't have enough infrastructure. The availability of HPC through the cloud is somehow very expensive, and we have problems of latency. It seems like some of the services for Hebrew, like NLP, is missing as well. And we see this specific domain of AI as a disruptive technology which may help the employment, the productivity in Israel, and that's why it became a government business. It seems like even though we have very good players in research and in the industry, we don't really fulfill all the potential which is there in the artificial intelligence. So we were trying to understand exactly in what terms Israel is good and in which areas we are not as successful as we thought. We look at some of the ranking lists, and there are many ranking lists in different areas, but it's somehow interesting to see the Toto is AI ranking, which is looking through 54 different countries. And when we started in 2019, we already seen that we have a problem with the operational environment and the infrastructure, and of course we don't have a government strategy. Somehow when we move to the to 2020, we have more countries there. We went up the scale. We became number 5 in the world, but we still have a problem, not enough infrastructure. It seems like we are more or less at the same point. And of course, the operational environment of Israel and the government strategy is still missing. So it seems that most of the advantage that we have here in Israel is based on the talents and on the excellence of research, and of course the availability of money, which is there from the VCs. So our conclusion were that it seems like we still have a problem of access to the infrastructure. We have very good researchers, but it seems like everybody wants the same researchers and the same employers, and we don't have enough workforce. But we have the very good base, I would say, for developing a strategy, developing an initiative that will look into those market failures. And this conclusion that we have, I will present shortly, more or less say that Israel can really fulfill the advantage and which the advantage that Israel has in this specific technology, and this will help economically and also to the security needs of Israel. So we look through different aspects of artificial intelligence, vision, NLP, computational learning, agents, robotics, and explainability. And we looked through to create some kind of synergy between the four biggest, I would say, players in the research and development area in Israel, which is the academy, the industry, security, and the government itself. So we have started to write this strategy, and we have a few elements that I will try to present. Actually, the government has approved yesterday the budget. We still need to approve it in the parliament, but in the Knesset. But somehow the first phase of this strategy was already approved. The budget was already approved, and we hope to start. I would say publish the first calls for all those items that I will present here. So the first one is talking about elaborate the community, the academic community, for at least 30 more researchers, to build a national HPC infrastructure for academy, for the industry, and for the security system, to allow access, cloud access for all those players. And of course, we hope to do this through the Nimbus cloud service. We want to elaborate of also the business community. We hope to use those infrastructure to improve the government services and to give access to some of the data sets which are held by the government. Of course, to improve productivity and security and etc. All those domains which are the government should think about. So, what are the action items we have suggested? So, in the academy, of course, we will allow more academic personnel in the AI domain. We think that there is not enough, not only the personal investigator, but also PhD students and research budget. In the industry, we have created a very big, I will not go into it too much, but a very big plan and impressive plan, which talks also about employment and product support and infrastructure support, mostly in those areas which are far away from the market and not really application creation. Regarding the joint forces, we talked about some, I would say, national project to solve generic problems. The first one, which is really in the market failure, is the NLP problem, since the Hebrew is a small market in any terms, and we are somehow 2-3 legs behind the ability of NLP in English, and we have to close this gap to allow use of data sets in Hebrew. Also to build a national infrastructure. We are about to publish the RFI for this infrastructure in the next week. And also, of course, to give access for cloud services. So somehow I'm trying to put in the same slide all the general actions that we are hope to do through this program. We have established already 4 different teams. The first team is headed by the Ministry of Science. It will talk about regulation, representing Israeli national, international committees. The second one is about the HPC infrastructure, which is headed by the Ministry of Defense and us, the Israel Innovation Authority. And the NLP program, which is also headed by Ministry of Defense and Israel National Israel Innovation Authority. And we've already published actually the first call for explainability, and we have the first group already presented the idea, and we hope to fund them already this year. So we have established this huge program of around 5 billion shekels to different models. We only approved in this specific budget the first phase, and that will go through 2021 till 2023. But we hope to go through the entire program just after we will hire a manager for this national AI initiative. We are about to finalize this contract really soon. So somehow this is our priorities, as I said, the HPC, the clean NLP, and the workforce. And of course, we will go into the regulation. We will start our RICMA project, which is the main idea is to establish a data lake of data from different ministries to see where we have market failures that the regulation can solve. We started already with the Ministry of Law some laws writing, and of course we will join forces with the cyber authorities, so we will be able to manage all those data sets that we will give access to. We looked also into ethics. It means transferability, explainability, and privacy, and of course security. Those are all some of the principles that we are committed since we have signed as an OECD member to keep those areas into consideration. So the first phase action, as I said, was already approved, or approved in this budget, and in November, when the budget will be approved in the parliament, we will be able to spend it already. But we have already started some of the calls publication, so we will be able to approve them the moment we will have the budget for them. And I think I finish with this. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Aviv. And